In the early 13th century, Europe was a continent where faith and steel went hand in hand. The Catholic Church, eager to spread its influence across pagan lands, found loyal allies in military religious orders. Among the most formidable was the Teutonic Order, which would come to dominate much of the Baltic region for centuries. Origins: from Hospitallers to Crusaders, the story begins in the Holy Land. Around 1190, during the Siege of Acre in the Third Crusade, a small group of German knights established a hospital to care for pilgrims. This humble beginning as a charitable organization soon evolved into a military order. By 1220, the Teutonic Knights were recognized as a fully armed order of crusaders, combining devotion with discipline, their mission clear: to defend Christendom and convert the heathen lands of the East. While the Levant offered opportunities for glory, the Teutonic Order soon turned its gaze to Europe's northeast. Here lay the lands of the Prussians, a fiercely independent pagan people inhabiting forests and marshes along the southeastern coast of the Baltic Sea. To the Teutonic Knights, these lands were ripe for conquest, sanctified by papal endorsement. The march eastward. In the 1230s, the Teutonic Knights launched their campaign into Prussia. At first, the campaign seemed swift and decisive. Fortresses rose from the wilderness, rivers were bridged, and roads carved through dense forests. Each stronghold was more than a military outpost. It was a symbol of Christian authority, a statement carved in stone and blood. The Prussians resisted fiercely. They were masters of guerrilla tactics, ambushing supply lines, raiding outposts, and vanishing into the forests before the heavily armored knights could respond. For years, the Order fought a brutal and unforgiving campaign, often resorting to massacres to suppress resistance. Chroniclers of the time wrote of entire villages being destroyed, with survivors forcibly baptized under threat of death. Yet, despite the bloodshed, the Order's power grew. By the 1260s, they had established a network of fortified settlements, roads, and economic centers that would lay the foundation for their dominance in the region. Rebellion and bloodshed. The Prussians would not submit quietly. The largest uprising erupted between 1260 and 1274, uniting various tribes against the Teutonic Knights. This rebellion tested the Order to its limits. Siege warfare, ambushes, and scorched earth tactics inflicted heavy losses on the knights. One by one, castles fell, forcing the Teutonic Order to rely not just on martial skill, but also on diplomacy and alliances with neighboring Christian rulers. This period shaped the character of the Order. They became not only warriors, but administrators, building a society that combined military precision, religious fervor, and bureaucratic organization. It was a state within a state, where knights ruled over vast territories, collected taxes, and maintained courts, all under the banner of Christ. The height of power: Malbork Castle. The zenith of Teutonic power came in the early 14th century. In 1309, the Order moved its headquarters to Marienburg, Malbork, a fortress of unprecedented scale. Constructed of red brick, Malbork Castle sprawled across multiple levels, with walls, towers, chapels, workshops, and granaries. At its peak, it could accommodate over 3,000 residents, including knights, priests, and servants. From here, the Order exerted control over much of the Baltic region. Trade flourished under their protection, towns grew around their fortresses, and the knights' influence extended deep into the politics of Poland, Lithuania, and the emerging states of the region. Their reputation as both devout monks and fearsome warriors spread across Europe. Yet, power came with enemies. The Teutonic Knights' expansionism threatened neighboring states, particularly Lithuania, which remained pagan well into the 14th century. Lithuania's rulers, including the cunning Grand Duke Vytautas, recognized the existential threat posed by the order. To counter them, Lithuania would adopt strategic diplomacy, alliances, and eventually conversion to Christianity to gain European support. The Battle of Grunwald, 1410. The turning point came on July 15, 1410, at the fields of Grunwald, Tannenberg. Poland and Lithuania formed a powerful coalition to confront the Teutonic Order. Estimates suggest that over 30,000 men faced off, making it one of the largest battles of medieval Europe. The battle was chaotic and brutal. The knights, disciplined and armored, initially held strong, forming defensive lines with their heavy cavalry. But the combined forces of Poland and Lithuania, employing mobility, archery, and tactical feints, gradually encircled them. By the end of the day, the Teutonic Order had suffered catastrophic losses. The Grand Master, Ulrich von Jungingen, was killed in combat, and the once invincible army of the knights was shattered. Though Malbork Castle remained in Teutonic hands, the Order's aura of invincibility was gone. Decline and transformation. After Grunwald, the Teutonic Order never fully recovered. Financial strains, internal disputes, and rising nationalist sentiment among Prussians weakened the Order's control. By the early 16th century, the political landscape had shifted dramatically. In 1525, the last Grand Master, Albert of Brandenburg-Ansbach, embraced Lutheranism, secularized the Order's territories, and established the Duchy of Prussia as a hereditary state under the Polish crown. This act ended the Teutonic Order's centuries-long military and religious rule in the region. What had begun as a crusading order for the faith had transformed into a secular duchy, marking the end of one of Europe's most formidable medieval powers. Legacy. The Teutonic Order's story is more than a tale of conquest. It is a window into a world where religion, warfare, and politics were inseparable. Their castles still stand, silent witnesses to centuries of conflict. Their campaigns reshaped the Baltic region, influencing borders, cultures, and even the spread of Christianity. Through the rise and fall of the Teutonic Knights, we see the ambition of men, the power of faith, and the cost of empire, a lesson echoing across the centuries.